Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning we go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video and one person's question will help me make the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and make sure you put repeat question and it will get moved to the top. And if it was super long, maybe shorten it up a little bit. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. And we do have to get thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is ARIZONATCG. If you guys have a couple graded cards or a ton of graded cards you're looking to sell, you don't want to deal with a bunch of people lowballing you or you having to ship cards out every single day, then ARIZONATCG is perfect for you. You just send them all your graded cards, and it could be PSA, Beckett, CGC, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece. They take it all, and then they'll take professional scans of your cards, and they're going to post it to their massive weekly eBay auctions. And the best part about all this is they charge almost the exact same amount as if you started your own eBay store. But this eBay store already has 100% positive feedback with over 10,000 cards sold. Definitely check them out. All the links are in the description. But alright, first question is from Matt Darius Belk, Mr. Goatee and Mustache. What is the first 3 booster boxes non-special set to break $500? Not projecting for Team Rocket. And what set will be the first to break $1,000 for the Scarlet and Violet Era booster boxes? So we're going to make a quick little tier list for this question. I'm going to do a much bigger tier list next month once Destined Rivals is like fully revealed. And we normally don't do tier lists where we're guessing prices because it's so tough to guess prices because it all depends on reprints. You know, if the market cools off and we get a massive reprint, that box is going to take so much longer to move. So since it's hypothetical, we're just going to pretend like all these sets got like one more solid reprint, and they're also all right around $200. And remember, this is just my personal opinion. And we're also going to run through like the top 5 cards from each set so you guys can kind of compare sets, because I feel like a lot of people, when they're really thinking about a set, you know, they don't actually look at both sets next to each other. That makes a huge difference. All right, we're going to run through these sets real quick. So we got Scarlet and Violet base set. It's got Gardevoir at $51. It's the most expensive card. Then Drowsy, Ralts, Curlia, and then Miriam at $28. Then we have Paldea Evolved. We got Magikarp at $241, Iono at $65, then Raichu, Tyranitar, and Marill. Now, I really feel like if Paldea Evolved would have just sprinkled in like 3 SIR Pokemon from like older generations, this set would be absolute perfection. Next, we have Obsidian Flames, small set, Charizard at $65, then Ninetales, Charizard, Cleffa, and Pidgeot. Then we have Paradox Rift here, Groudon, Altaria, Roaring Moon, Garchomp, Steelix. That's why I like Paradox Rift so much. I feel like it has the best variety because it has special illustration rares like Altaria, Tapu Koko, Golisopod, you know, semi-popular Pokemon from older generations. Then it has some of the newer ones, Roaring Moon, Iron Valiant, and then it has beautiful illustration rares with Groudon and Yveltal. Not to mention, like, Paldea Evolved and Paradox Rift have the most illustration rares and SIRs out of any English set. Prismatic technically has more SIRs, but they also don't have any illustration rares. So, it's kind of different. And it's not a, you know, mainline set. Next, we have Temporal Forces, Raging Bolt, Walking Wake, Iron Crown, Morty's Conviction, Gouging Fire. That's a pretty solid top 5. But there's some people out there that just hate these newer Pokemon. Next, we have Twilight Masquerade, Greninja at $382. We got Perrin, Carmine, Eevee, and Blood Moon Ursaluna. And then another thing I like to do too, if you look at a set, you take out the top 2 cards. Is that set still like really, really good? Because if you take out just 2 cards and the set isn't that good anymore, it's really not that like deep of a set. Next, we have Stellar Crown. We got the Terapagos, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Dashbun, and Hydrapple. Then we have Surging Sparks. Now, you cannot tell me out of all these top 5s that we've just looked at that this is not the most stacked so far. Pikachu SIR, Latias SIR, Milotic SIR, Gold Pikachu EX, and a Hydreigon EX SIR. Like, that's pretty stacked for your top 5. Then we got Journey Together, which TCG Player does not have all the pictures, neither does Pokédata, but we got Lily's Clefairy at $461. Again, the set like is just about to come out. We got Salamence EX SIR and Zoroark, Iono's Bellibolt, Hopsashian, Volcanion. And here's the thing about Journey Together. I've seen a lot of people say it's pretty mid, but if you really, really look at Journey Together, it has a good variety, has Volcanion and Salamence, which are just normal special illustration rares. I've seen a couple people say they're plain, but I've seen them in person on the Japanese side. They're beautiful. And I know the Japanese cards look better, but the English cards are still going to look great. But then they got some trainer Pokemon, which, you know, the trainer fans absolutely love. And if anybody says that Lily's Clefairy can't hold value, does not know who Lily is. I mean, Lily literally has a $475 card from Ultra Prism, $144 card from Cosmic Eclipse, and a $71 card from Sun and Moon base set. So Lily definitely has more pull than people think. Not to mention Iono is also very popular, and Salamence is pretty popular, and Zoroark is pretty popular. So in my opinion, this is definitely one of the best top fives. Like if, you're comparing top fives, which, top five is not the whole set. I just kind of like to do that. And then Journey Together also has this going for it. It has the enhanced booster box with the promo card, which we have not gotten in forever. And then we just got Destined Rivals on the Pokemon Center website, and it has no mention of an enhanced booster box. So, for sure, Journey Together is the only set so far with the enhanced booster box with that promo. And that is definitely going to put a premium on that box. And then, like I said, it's a pretty solid set. But all right, let's get back to this tier list here. So we're just going to start putting some of these up here, and I'm going to move some things around. So we're going to start off with probably Obsidian at 300, Stellar at 300, and we're going to do Temporal at 400, and it's tough. I'm going to put Scarlet at 400, even though Scarlet, like PSA 10 wise, is one of the best sets because a lot of those illustration rares are worth a ton in a PSA 10, which could make this box also move. But Pokemon really got popular with Twilight Masquerade on, so a lot of these earlier sets, there's not a ton of people, like newer people, that are just super obsessed with them. But now we got Paldea Evolved. We're going to put that at 500 for now. Paradox Rift, I feel like, is right with Paldea Evolved. Now we got Twilight Masquerade, which I do feel like if you get rid of the Eevee and the Greninja, there's not a ton else in that set, but that Eevee and Greninja is super, super popular. So we're going to put it with $400 right now. I might move it up to 500 for now. And then we have Surging Sparks and Journey Together. We're not going to do anything with these other sets because they're not, the mainline booster box sets. So Surging Sparks and Journey Together, I really feel like has the best top five. And they both came out when Pokemon is super, super popular. Now, I do feel like Surging Sparks does beat Journey Together a little bit card-wise, but Journey Together has the enhanced booster box, which, we're talking about booster boxes here. This is really, really tough, I must say. It's just also, too, Journey Together is a little bit of a smaller set, but in my head, being the only booster box on this entire list, having that promo, makes it the best booster box on the list, almost. It's super, super close. So I'm going to put it at the $1,000 booster box for now, and then I'm going to put Surging at 500. And let's see here, what else can I move? Because I don't want 4 here, because we want a top 3 at 500. Now, I do feel like Paldea Evolved is much more popular than Paradox Rift, so I kind of want to put Paradox Rift down here, even though I feel like Paradox Rift has much better variety. And then I also feel like Paradox Rift is a much better set than Twilight Masquerade, but you cannot really, argue a $400 Greninja card and a $100 Eevee card. That's super tough. So I'm going to have to put Paradox Rift down here for now. And we're going to take one more little second to look at this and see if I want to move anything else. I know I'm going to get some hate for putting Journey Together in the $1,000 booster box, but to me it makes sense being the only one enhanced. And then it also sold out super fast, and a lot of stores did not get nearly as many as what they actually wanted. But you never know, this set could get, reprinted so many times in the next couple of years. It's a brand new set. That's why I don't like to do the prices normally for these. This is just all hypothetical. But I do like Journey Together, and it's the only one that there's technically 2 different booster boxes. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like this. I almost want to swap like Surging with Journey or Paldea with Journey, but like I said, that enhanced booster box, we have not seen that before. I mean, we had box toppers way back in the day, but, to just randomly get a set here with a box topper is kind of crazy. And then especially Destined Rivals didn't get a box topper either from what I've seen. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep it like this. And remember, this is just my opinion. Let me know down below your guys' list. Next is from Matt. M. Cool Plays. Hey, Beard, what is your opinion on the Greninja EX SIR? So I do have a feeling that the Greninja will probably drop a little bit this summer, which it is coming down in price. It got up to about $810 in a PSA 10. Now down to like $750. And Raw got up to $405. Last sold Raw, we got a $291 right here, which is pretty low. We got a 10 at 735, a 9 at 335, 10 at 735, Raw at 424. We got a 9 at 320, another Raw at 338, 379, 325. So I'd probably wait a little bit, see if it comes down some more, then probably pick it up maybe in the middle of the summer. And then too, everybody's going to be chasing Destined Rivals and stuff too, so the card might cool off a little bit. Next is from Matt. The Poke Angler Yo Beard. I just copped a PSA 10 Heliolisk from Twilight Masquerade for a little investment, $67. Do you think PSA 10 illustration rares are something to look into? They're harder to grade and might be an untouched market. Thank you, man. Keep up the grind. Yeah, there's definitely some illustration rares in a PSA 10 that are very affordable. Like Execute in a PSA 10 sold for 94. We got Palafin for 69. I mean, even Tapu Koko, the SIR sold for 76. Iron Hands EX SIR sold for 66. Probopass illustration rare 59. Galsapod 96. Even the Bliss EV alternate art, which is super, super hard to pull, $71 in a PSA 10. And there is a ton of illustration rares in a 10 that you can get for under $50. I think those are all very solid buys for sure. Next is from at Yamidix. What do you think of Ace grading in the UK? So I'm not super obsessed with their labels. And last sold in the Charizard for PSA 10 from 151 is 910, 915, 1,890. And for Ace grading, we got $511 plus $37 in shipping. $1,000 best offer accepted, $743. $478. It's a different looking label. But yeah, I think they like match the labels to the cards. I don't really have any Ace cards, and I really haven't seen too many of them. Just know if you buy that stuff and you are in the United States, it's super hard to move. Like if you ever want to sell it at a card show, almost no vendors will be picking that up. You know, in the UK, different story. I think it's super good that they have a grading company in the UK. They definitely should. But I mean, a $520 Charizard EX in a 10, half the price, it's a PSA 10. Next is from at Connor Wait 7957. Hey Beard, I love the videos, my go-to every morning when I'm getting ready for my days. Should I consider trading, selling my raw or PSA 10 Astral Radiance Garchomp because of the hype from Destined Rivals? Or will the value of Garchomp cards grow even more once Destined Rivals is officially released? Also considering to use that money to buy the new SR Garchomp in a PSA 10 eventually. So we'll take a little peek. I do think this Garchomp, maybe in a PSA 10, has a little bit more room to grow, but I have a feeling it will level out. I could maybe see it hitting like $300, but anytime a card goes from $100, you know, just a few months ago, to now $300, and you got to remember, trainer galleries are relatively easy to pull, so I feel like now is a solid time to sell the card or trade it if you wanted to, especially if you do have like another one. Next is from at CoolWit9645. Hey Beard, I always like watching your videos. Keep up the great content. I have a question about the Van Gogh Pikachu, whether I should invest into it since most Pikachus go crazy after a year or two, like the Mario one. Should I trade my 151 Charizard for it? Thanks. So here's the difference though between that card and the Mario card. The pop on the Pikachu with gray felt hat is 35,869 in a 10. And for 9s, we have 30,273. Now the Mario card is a pop of 1,830 in a 10 and 825 in a 9. So I probably wouldn't trade my Charizard for it, to be honest. You know, I'd probably watch it. Maybe this summer it'll get a little bit cheaper, but the pop on that is insane. Like super, super crazy. Next is from at Jerry Sidekick. I bought a handful of Crown Zenith Mew and Obsidian Flames Glooms a while back. Do you think they're a good long-term hold, or do you think I should sell high now? Gloom is coming down in price, got up to like $18, $19. Now last sold $15, $12, $13. And the Mew also got up to about $25. Now last sold 17, 17, 23, 23, 16. So definitely sell a couple of them off. You know, keep your nicest ones probably. You know, don't sell them all if you really, really enjoy the cards. But yeah, it's always good to sell a couple of them, kind of pay for the ones you originally bought, so that way you have a couple of them for free. And the Mew card is super cool. Next question is from at Sasha Woman. Hey Beard, always a pleasure. My question is, I found my old collection when I was a kid. None of them are perfect, but I have a few bangers. I was wondering if I should grade them, even though they won't be 10s. Shiny Charizard Unlimited Neo Destiny, Latias Gold Star from Deoxys, Charizard Reverse Holo from Legendary Collection, Unlimited Base Set Zard, and Gengar from Expedition. So it really, really depends on the condition. You know, I don't know how rough they are. If they are in decent condition to where it's like kind of moderately played to lightly played, you know, it might be a good idea to get some of them graded, especially if they're a little more on the lightly played side, because you never know. Like we got the Shining Zard here, you know, PSA 5, 820, a 6 sold for 1,000, 7 for 1,300. You know, we got the $1,000 sale here from Z&G. But what I like to do is look at the condition of the card and then compare it to, like, let's say a PSA 6 or PSA 5, PSA 7, kind of guess the condition, see what it's selling for raw in that condition and see what it's selling for graded in that condition. And if it's worth it, you know, if it's, you know, a couple $100 more or something, then definitely get it graded, because those are definitely some solid grails. And another good thing about getting like older cards like that graded, people know they're authentic then. But all right, next question is from at Fuzzy Wuzzy JT5WK. Hey Beard, do you know a website or have a list of other card shows in Minnesota this year? Would love to be able to plan for them a little better. Thank you for all your hard work. You make Monday mornings great. Appreciate that. So if you just type in like card shows in Minnesota and you go to the trading card database, it shows all of the card shows. Like this weekend, we got a show in Mankato. There's a show at Punch Out in Forest Lake, which I will be at vending and recording on Saturday. And we got another show in Buffalo. But yeah, it shows them all. But the main people who run like all the shows in Minnesota, not all of them, but like the biggest shows, it's just called the Minnesota Card Show. And it has all their info for all their upcoming shows. We got the biggest show in Minnesota, which is at the St. Paul River Center, and that is April 10th through the 13th. I will be there vending and recording that one also. They got Hobby Clash coming up this summer, where it's going to be a bunch of different things. I'll be going to that one too. And then another person who's doing card shows is the Downtown Metro Card Show. You know, they have a lot of shows, you know, at least once or twice a month maybe. But we got some dates here, February, March, April. So more card shows. I just went to one of those. I'll be going to another one very soon. Next is from @Yog If Fanoy. What do you feel about the Pokemon Classic Collection as an investment, available for $210 on Sam's Club online? Cards currently seems to be worth it, what the entire box is worth. Paying to sell, but maybe once it's done being printed, things will go up. I don't know, seems like it's the only product not going crazy. Yeah, at that price, it's not too bad, honestly. It's the cheapest price we've really gotten for this box. It's a super cool, unique box. I'd probably grab a couple at $195, not too bad. I just got one not too long ago. Next is from @Toxic Romeo. With the announcement of Team Rocket's Meowth IR for the new set, do you think this will affect the price of Team Rocket's Meowth Wizard of the Coast promo 18? It'll probably go up in price a little bit. I think it already is. So it was $4 in September. Last sold, we got near mint at 13, 18, 13, then heavily played at 5, 3, 6. Another near mint at 13, another one at 11. So definitely going up in price. But I mean, it's literally called Team Rocket's Meowth. I could definitely see this card being a $25, $30 card. Next is from @Mike's Cardboard. When is the best time to snag cards from the new Japanese sets? Do they take a hit when their English versions hit the market? So I usually wait till a little bit after that, almost like when the next set comes out. So like if you look at Prismatic Evolutions, you know, when that set came out, there was actually a lot of cards from Trestle that went up in price because Prismatic was so expensive and it was tough to find, which it still is. But now that it's been out for a while and, you know, we got some newer sets coming, you know, Heatwave Arena just dropped. And then, you know, the Glory of Team Rocket and stuff. A lot of these cards are getting cheaper. I mean, you can get the Goldangle for $9, Tropicals for $7, Iron Crown for $7. Even Raging Bolt is $18, Dragapult is $16, Ceruledge is only $25, Roaring Moon $34. Even the Evolutions, you know, $50, $44, $36. But I have a feeling once the Glory of Team Rocket comes out, these cards will be even a little bit cheaper. So I like to wait, you know, a couple sets for sure. Next is from @PokeStanley. Question: investing PC Evolving Skies ETB or PC 151 ETB? Can only buy one. 151 just because it has a promo, even though I do feel like Evolving Skies is a better set, but you can't beat the promos. Next is from @MartyBoy. Hey Beard, is there a good and bad time to buy bulk? Does the market have any influence on bulk? Thanks. When the market is hot, bulk does get a little bit more expensive. When the market is completely cold, people just give you bulk pretty much. But it's not a huge difference. Next is from @3J Spangle. Hey Beard, are sealed promos, specialty delivery, ETB, etc. worth picking up, or do you think people prefer the raw graded copies? The sealed promos are very nice because you can always just open the promo and it's a raw copy. But people will usually always pick up the sealed copy before a raw version. I love sealed promos. Next is from @BlueCollarTCG. Hey Beard, long-term investing trade question. Right now, would you trade one prismatic PC ETB for 3 regular prismatic ETBs to hold long-term? To me, that's like trading a Ferrari for like 3 Mustangs. You know, I just don't think I would do it. You know, the PC ETB is so much more rare. Next is from @Poorcoin. I have a question. Someone is allowing me to buy an Obsidian Flames Ninetales PSA 10 for 80% of market price. I've always loved the art on the card, so I'm happy to buy a PSA 10 of it. However, I was wondering that the PSA 10 value will begin to drop once I buy the card. Honestly, the Ninetales I feel like is pretty undervalued at 80%. Solid pickup. I'd probably grab it. Next is from @PokemonNon123. Question for next week. Hi, PokeBeard. Thank you for the videos. Love the vending video. I'm actually doing my first vending show with a friend in May. But I'm nervous if I should sell all or some of my slabs, or are they still hold? My Roaring Moon, Altaria Groudon from PRDOUCTS, Giratina, RCS Mewtwo from Crown Zenith, Gardevoir from Paldean Fates, Ninetales from Obsidian, etc. all PSA 10s. So honestly, I'd probably just keep the couple cards that you are most obsessed with, that even if it does go down in price, you're not that upset. But I do think cards from Crown Zenith, you know, they do have pretty easy pull rates. And I do think cards from Paradox Rift are pretty undervalued. So, and then, you know, we just mentioned the Ninetales. Next is from @soup355. Do you think a PSA 10 Pikachu IR from 151 for 150 was a good long-term pickup? You always stress it has the most Gen 1 Pokemon ever. Thanks. Yes, very solid. Next is from @G. I think. Is it safe to invest a bunch of single blister packs? Yeah, that's totally fine, but just know they will move, you know, kind of last. So the booster boxes will go crazy, the ETBs will go crazy, the booster bundles go crazy, then the blister packs and the sleeve boosters. But they will eventually move. But if it's all you can afford to just pick up a random, you know, single blister pack or sleeve booster here and there, that's totally fine. Next is from @Chango Rips. Are you going to Card Party Seattle? It's the first big card show I'm going to and would love to meet you. Been watching you for several months now and your content is the best of the best. I am going to Seattle Card Party. I'm also going to Card Party in Florida this summer. Super excited for Seattle. It's my wife's favorite place. She used to go there all the time with her family as a kid. And not to mention, I like nice, cool weather, and it's going to be in the fall, so I'm very, very excited. I really wish they would have swapped it around, though. You know, I wish we would have did Florida in the fall and Seattle in the summer. I feel like that would have been so much better. I'm not really excited for, you know, June in Florida, but, you know, Card Party is the funnest card show I've ever been to. If you guys are thinking about going to Card Party, I definitely recommend it. It's basically a giant card show with just a bunch of Pokemon YouTubers walking around. And if you guys ever see me at Card Party, definitely come say what's up. We can go shop for some cards. All right, last question is from @Malcolm Higgins, 7005, a member. I can tell you love making videos. Do you ever worry that by doing a scheduled series you are locked in? People expect your content now on a regular basis. What if you want a day off? What if you get sick of making the same videos? I hope you don't. Love the content. So I actually like making the same videos. You know, I love having a schedule, the OCD, and I've been checking the market for the last 20 years, like heavily, to where I know the prices of all these cards. Because when I go out and buy lots or collections, it helps so much knowing the prices of these things, especially from all different generations. You have no idea how many lots I have bought to where people just have no idea what's in there. And it's just like, you know, they think it's bulk, and I go through all the bulk, and it's like, these are $30, $40 shiny cards just because they look like regular reverse holos, but they're expensive cards. So I've done that thousands of times. And then too, even like on eBay, buy it now newly listed lots or collections, within 20 seconds, you know, I can kind of figure out what that collection is worth. And then I, you know, am going to buy it instantly if I think it's a good deal. So it's always helped me to study the market. And the main reason too why I even buy and sell cards and stuff is just so I can get more cards for my collection. And the only thing that's really rough is like going on vacation, because I don't want to miss days. So I'll just bring my stuff with me and knock those videos out. It would probably bug me more if I skip those days. So I just like doing it anyways, because then I got that clear mind, like I got the video done, got it posted, now I can enjoy my vacation. So that's the only thing that I would say is kind of crappy about doing like a scheduled content. And then if I ever want to do anything different, you know, I have Tuesdays open where I can post, I have Saturdays open where I don't post every Saturday. I post my vending videos on Saturday, but that's not every single week. So I have other days too if I want to, you know, get more creative and do something else or start a new series. Like I might do top 20 Tuesdays soon and do that like once a month. But I like having a channel that's like all on schedule. I like schedules. And yeah, the thing about me is I'll never quit Pokemon. I will be collecting Pokemon till the day I die. And I can guarantee that because I've been collecting it since the day it came out. And I've been going heavy, even when I got picked on for collecting Pokemon in high school. But luckily I was good at sports and I loved fighting, so that really helped. So I didn't get picked on too bad. But still, I didn't care. I just collected Pokemon, went home, collected it by myself. You know, I had a couple buddies that I would play the TCG with. But yeah, I didn't care what people thought. I just collected what I really loved. So I will be here forever. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys do have any questions, please drop them down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. And if you guys want to check out some giveaways, I do a giveaway every single Sunday. So like my Slabs Sundays, my Sleeper Sundays, you know, stuff like that. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last Market Monday, which was actually one of the toughest Market Mondays I've had in a long time, there's not that many cards moving, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.